Hello and good afternoon, everybody. It's 2 o'clock. It's September 30th, 2020, and we're here to do another live stream financial wellness program. Excited to have Holly Houseworth with us here today. We're going to be talking today about how to spot a phishing email. This is a technology piece that I think is real important. And as we are doing this financial initiative, obviously a lot of fraud, hurting people financially, and these are things that I think are real important to bring to the table. So we're excited about having Holly with us today. To start off though, I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to look at our disclosure. The disclosure is basically about COPEC, our speakers, the board, affiliated companies, and things of that nature. I personally, one of the founders and also hosts our company, and because I'm on the board, we're considered affiliated, so we've got some extra disclosure there, so we want to make sure that is available to you. You can also see this disclosure on the COPEC website at the bottom where it says click the link disclosure. Holly, definitely excited about this discussion. This is something that I have been thinking about for quite some time. And for those of you that don't know, Holly is the Director of Operations for CloudCover, which is a local IT firm that specializes in small and medium-sized businesses with a lot of their technology. So excited to have you join us. And I've been hearing a lot, obviously working with technology, we've been hearing a lot about the phishing scams. Heard it's even as high as like a third or something that really affect a lot of the phishing attacks on companies. Can you kind of review this a little bit with us and get us started?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. This is such a huge issue for us and our clients and everyone, my grandma, my mom, everybody, you name it. So it's really important. And just as a quick statistic, in 2019, a third of all data breaches involved a phishing attack. And that number was actually down by 42% because I think of a lot of awareness, training, people knew what phishing was, as before a couple of years ago they didn't. So it sounds like good news because the number's down. Unfortunately, with this whole global pandemic issue, numbers are going to exceed what anyone has ever thought they would because people are desperate and phishing scams are getting more prevalent. So numbers are going to go way up for 2020, and it's happening to almost everybody. Everybody's getting phished on a daily basis. Whether it gets caught by your spam filter or it doesn't, it's happening to your inbox. And that's a huge problem.
Now, it's interesting when you talk about a lot of the technology issues and fraud and things that I think a lot of people believe that, it's people hacking into your system, right? I got hacked.
Yeah.
And it makes it sound like you were doing everything you could to protect yourself, and somebody just somehow has a code and they're geniuses and they figure it out and they hack in. But that's not really the case, right? It's really us as individuals being maybe a little lazy or maybe having flaws in what we're doing. Maybe, I don't know.
It is. So unfortunately, with the fact it used to be more malware-based attacks, well, now it's more spear phishing, CEO fraud, impersonation tactics. So there's only so much on the IT side that you can do to protect against phishing. So here's an actual story from one of our clients. One day I get a call and an office manager calls me. She's panicked. Holly, we've been hacked. So now I panic because I'm her IT provider. Okay, this is bad. What happened? Well, someone got into my boss's email and sent me a request to buy $10,000 worth of Walmart gift cards for the staff. So I went to Walmart and I did it, but it wasn't him. I thought you guys protected us from hackers. And imagine me, first of all, I felt bad, but I'm breathing a sigh of relief because we did not do anything wrong. And I had to gently let her know, unfortunately, you were not hacked, you were phished. So we took a look at the email that came in. The email was a really bad actor. It was an AOL email address. The language was off. It was everything that everyone's been taught to look for. And for some reason, she just fell for it and she became the bait. So for her, it was really bad for her and their organization. but there's not much we can do if we aren't training the human error of the phishing attack side.
So to not only, and I use the word lazy, and I think that was unfair, but that's an example where we're so busy, and it's not a matter of being lazy per se. It's about obviously the training side of it, being aware that these are happening. Don't trust things until you verify it always. Are you expecting this? Maybe call verify, all of those types of things. But the idea that, is it true that a lot of these emails are kind of written bad on purpose? Because if somebody misses it, that means they're probably going to follow through with it. If you try to get too perfect, they're trying to find people being too busy or not catching those errors and things like, or is that, I just heard that somewhere.
Well, so we see it both ways. I mean, obviously we still see the Prince of Nigeria cousin that wants to send you money. People are still using that scam. And then other times it's people that they are sending these out in mass, and they're hiring someone that really doesn't speak English. And so a lot of times the grammatical errors that you see in the spelling and the terms of phrase that they use is just because they don't speak English well enough. And to get Americans that speak English and are well educated to write these is expensive. So a lot of times it's just that. But there are people that will put these, that'll put the mistakes in there just to see if you're looking. And then when they catch someone like my client, then they know they've got someone that is easily duped. And as a matter of fact, what's sad about the story is that we had training for them. We went through all the procedures. We did all the stuff. FBI does not care about the $10,000 hack that happened to a small business. They're not going to follow up. So we did everything we could on our end. And about 3 weeks later, she got phished again, except this time the owner of the company asked her to change his checking account information for his direct deposit because he had changed banks, and she did it. So she got phished again. It was also by the same IP address that was routed through 3 different countries. So, unfortunately for her, that did not work out well. But they do look for those people that are that busy or gullible, and then they know that they can keep phishing.
You would think, so you're saying, I mean, I understand you go back to the well multiple times, but you would think if you got that first one that, now we've been, because obviously we've been outed because it's clear that conversation would have happened, but you're saying they went back and it worked again.
It worked again, but a completely different scam, and she did do it. So it happens, and I feel like phishing has almost become everybody does it, everybody knows to look out for this stuff. But you would not believe how many people do not look out for this, or just simply, like you said, are busy. We get bombarded with emails every day. And, even as an IT person, I look at some emails and I'm going, ooh, and I'll send them to my guys and have them look them over before I'll touch them. So, it happens. It happens to everybody.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I know that, there's general understanding, there's announcements and things like do not respond to an email from the IRS. They will not contact you, right? Or, sometimes I'll notice that a company that I use, they'll send something out and say, we need you to log in and verify. Now, absolutely, while it may be true or not, I always log in the way I normally log in, as opposed to clicking on that link.
Yes.
Because I've even heard where they will create websites to look similar to what you would think it would be and think you're at the same place. What is that, like mirroring, or I don't know what it is. But, so those are some good things to make sure that if you are getting it from something that seems familiar, log in the way you would normally log in, or call the number you normally have, not the number they give you. Hence, back to your example there, just check with the owner and say, hey, this seems something that we don't normally do. am I understanding this right? I know in our industry, which is, we deal with a lot of investing and things of that nature, where we cannot take those orders through email because of this exact reason.
Right,
If anything were to
absolutely.
come in, we have to validate those things. And because you don't know exactly who it is. Even a spouse at a home isn't the client, so you can't always assume. So
Right.
that's really, hey, what are some common phishing schemes? We've talked about a couple, but can you run through some more?
Yeah. So like you said, the website mirroring happens all the time. So anybody can go out there and make fedex.mail versus fedex.com or apple.net.com. So they buy these domains that look like Chase or Huntington or FedEx or any of the big ones out there. And then they steal their logo off their website and they put it into a website. So they're literally building a WordPress website that looks exactly like Chase. And then they put your username and your login. And then they send you an email that says, hey, Holly, we noticed that someone was trying to get into your Chase account. Please log in. Please change your credentials by logging into this link. And it'll say support at chase.123.com. Well, you go into that link, that is their website. So they have a screen capture on that and they have a keylogger on their website. So whatever you're typing in, they see exactly what you're typing in. So they immediately have your Chase account. They have someone standing by and they're ready to go to Chase and they log on and it's done before you know it. Verizon, Apple is one of the most, it's simulated all of the time. So you get the email that says, hey, somebody tried to log into your Apple ID. Please change your password. And they have the handy link within the email or within a text message, because text fraud is becoming a huge thing now. You log in, same thing. So there's that, which is happening all the time. Then of course, spelling, grammatical errors. Another thing to do is with the one I told you about, if she would have looked at the domain, instead of saying blank, Mr. Blank Smith, and that's what it said as the email sender, but if she would have highlighted on that and checked out, she would have seen that the email address was xo256@aol.com instead of his actual email, and that would have been her tip-off, but she didn't. So always look at that. Attachments, like you said, I get them, I would say every couple of weeks I get an invoice from somebody, and it's somebody that I've done business with or somebody I have a personal contact with. Jay, I could get one from you that says, you have an invoice from Retirement Strategies. And I'm going to go, wait a minute, why do I have an invoice with Retirement Strategies? But people just don't think before they click on them. And as soon as you click on them, you're in or they're in. And then some messages are just designed to make you panic and act too quickly. So if an email claims your account was compromised and you need to log in right now and it's your financial institution, yeah, you're going to panic. And so when they have those links, they're counting on people to freak out and go in. So no matter what happens, if you get an email from Chase or Fifth Third or whoever you're with, don't ever, ever call the number that's in that email or email that support, because it's going directly to them, or clicking on the link. Go to chase.com and make sure it's got the lock in the browser and make sure it is Chase's website, and then go to Chase. Find out their 800 number and call them and find out what it is. If you get a call from Verizon that says, somebody was into your account, can you please give us your PIN number? Ask them for their 800 number to call back. And then you can call the 800 number. It's not going to go back to Verizon. It's going to go back to whoever they're hosting it. So those are the things that we really need to do when we're looking at these emails.
Yeah.
It wasn't too long-winded, but I mean,
No.
that's what's happening right now.
People need to be comfortable, but I don't want to use the word scared, but respectful of what is, you know, the wolves in the woods, right? Or whatever it might be. They're right on the other side, and you can do a lot to protect yourself and it shouldn't affect you. But you also, and we don't want to scare people either. Just be smart. Just be, reasonable. And, oh, they're not going to get me. I'm a nobody. Well, that's how they get everybody. They attack everybody. And even things like utilizing, what is it called? Two-part authorization, or what's it called?
Multi-factor. Yeah, it's multi-factor authentication, two-factor authentication. There's different tools. Those are great tools. We don't have anything in our organization that isn't protected by MFA. It's just one of those things. Everything is protected by MFA. It comes straight to my phone. No one can hack into my system unless they have my computer, my passwords, my PIN from my phone, my physical phone. I mean, it would be very difficult with MFA or two-factor authentications. That is a huge thing.
And would you, sometimes on my computer, people get kind of, they want to make everything easy. Sometimes they ask, do you want to remember this computer? Sometimes I purposely say no, just because I want to redo that authentication, just because it's such an important account. I don't mind taking the extra step. I don't want to make it easy.
Yep. Yeah, it's hard because people get so busy and there's so many accounts that we have passwords for. It's crazy. But it really does make a huge difference to have the strong passwords and stay diligent. We actually have a rule that kicks us out of all of our financial programs or anything, any kind of software or web-based platforms that we use. It kicks us out after 30 days. So you automatically have to log back in just to be safe. We see it too often.
Let alone your computer. You want to go ahead and protect your computer with things like encryption, things like automatic log off after an hour or 30 minutes or something. Those
absolutely.
also help protect that. Because how many times do people, they get up, they do something, then they forget all this information's right on their computer. Even at home, if you have guests in or you have people coming around, you have somebody, you don't want to not trust people, but you also want to protect what's yours.
For sure. And there's actually so many different settings now in most of the newer laptops and PCs that you can even link your PC to your phone, so that if you leave and your phone is however far away from your PC automatically locks.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, there's so many settings now that you can get into that really actually are good to do. So
that's neat to know.
Yeah. And I would say another huge thing for us as an IT provider, we do everything on our end with firewalls and spam filters, and Microsoft has advanced threat protection that we put on anyone that's using Office 365. It's a couple dollars more per month per user. So it'll block email addresses that look weird, or it even recognizes if my computer logs on from China at 3:00 in the morning, it will shut down. It knows I'm not going to, it's out of my character to even do that. So you can set those rules. It'll quarantine emails and attachments that it thinks are malicious. And then if you try to open those, it'll say, wait, no, we're scanning it. And it actually scans. So there's all these different things that we can do, right? And I suggest all of them. But unfortunately, we still look at the human error side. And, my bio is on our website. So anybody can look on our website and find out Holly Houseworth is the director of operations and Brent Kenreich is her boss. So we have the domain. They can guess. They can go on a email site that says, this is their domain. This is their typical email address. So they go, oh, okay. Well, Brent Kenreich at Cloud-Cover, they go through that whole thing, send me an email. They know enough on our website that they can say, hey, Holly, can you please send me payroll reports? I'm trying to do some reporting. It's that easy. So we need to be diligent. We need to be training. We offer a phishing service that we manage, and there's a ton of them out there. One we use is called Know Before, and we actually phish our clients. So what we do is we create phishing emails that are believable enough but have flaws in them, because if we make them too good, no one's going to get that. So we put some flaws in there. We send them out on about a monthly basis. And Jay, if we send it to you and you open my email and you click on a link and you go to my site and you enter in the credentials and then you give me your credit card number, you get 5 dings against you. And in real time, we get an alert that says, hey, Jay just got phished. Jay gave us his password, his login information, his credit card, his firstborn's blood type. He gave us all this stuff. And then it immediately assigns you training and reports back to the CEO or the business owner or whoever's in charge of that, the CIO. And then you can have those conversations with someone and say, okay, this is what you did wrong. They have to watch the training. They have to complete the training, and you can go as far as you want to. But what is great about those programs is once people know, A, once they're caught, they're really diligent. B, once they know that they're being watched, that cuts out half of the human error just by knowing they're watched. I mean, I have cameras all over my house. I have a teenager. I have a hot tub out back. I have a camera on the deck. Is it charged all the time? No, but as long as she thinks it is, nothing's going to happen out there, right? So that's part of the training, is just knowing that you're being watched. You're going to be really diligent, and it's really important.
So is that how you have eyes in the back of your head?
Yes, they ask me that all the time. Yes, cameras everywhere. No, not creepy like that, but I mean, everybody's got cameras all over their house, so my kids just know. And as an IT person, my kids are scared to death to do anything with their phone or their computers that might be bad. So I've scared them enough. But yeah, so the training, everything, it just comes back to human error is the cause of most breaches now, because people have gotten savvy with their systems and their servers and their security. And there's a lot of security tools that are great, but we can't fix people as much as we can fix an IT system.
Obviously, these are all things that a lot of people in your industry are able to help with. I know that you guys do a great job. This is really a balance between making sure that your technology systems, and I'm going to use a third, maybe it's 25, 50, but anyway, of having the right systems, meaning encryptions and good malware and all of those things. And then having the correct testing of systems, like you said, the testing of your staff and whatever. And then last is just education to your staff. What's the ramifications? What are people doing all the time? Whether it's to your staff or to your family, right? Be aware, so it's a balance of all of those things that helps limit people being able to break in, but also people being able to be I don't want to use the word useful idiot, but you are the weak link in a system as to how this information got out. The whole payroll system is out in the public domain because we weren't paying attention. And if we as organizations or employees or individuals do that due diligence, it really makes us aware, and that's all we can try to do right now.
It really is. And, they're coming up with more and more schemes and scams and ways to get in. Right now, the COVID and the election are the big ones. So unfortunately, anytime we see a natural disaster, anytime there was a hurricane or anything that happened, wildfires, you'll get the email that says, hey, please donate to the Red Cross. Please donate to this organization. Please donate to the fund for kids that don't have clothes in COVID times. I mean, you get all that stuff. So those are other things to watch out for, unfortunately. The Red Cross shouldn't be soliciting donations through email. But phishing scams do happen. So we are seeing a lot of that as well. So that's something else to be aware of with the election and everything else going on. It's really easy to fall prey to that.
I've seen situations where people fall prey to it because they're lonely, because they just love the fact they're getting attention. And back in the day, especially the seniors, back in the day, if you got a piece of mail, it was specifically purposeful for you and it meant something. Whereas today, probably 60% of the stuff we get is junk,
Yes.
And we fall victim to it because we think it's valuable. We think this person is very nice and is likable and all that stuff. And, you know, I hate to say it, but, you know, people prey on those things and they're so nice and I invited them in or whatever it is. Well, now they're a different thing. So, hey, I just want to thank you so much for again being part of this. This is really incredible and valuable information. I hope everybody listening in can really glean some good ideas to think and how they can take back to themselves, family, their company. We're going to have you on from time to time. Really excited about that. And anything you want to close up here for us as we kind of wrap up here?
You know, just stay diligent. I hate to be doom and gloom. I'm an optimist always. So, you know, the doom and gloom conversations are kind of a bummer, but at the same time, it's necessary because it's affecting people's lives and their businesses. And it really can put a small business out of business. And we just see so many bad things happen to the good people that we work with sometimes. And, you know, if we can stop anybody from having this happen to them, that's, you know, huge for us. So just remain diligent. There's still plenty of good people out in the world, but, you know, just be looking for the bad ones and stay clear of them and don't invite them in.
Many are good. It just takes one to mess up your day.
Right.
You know, it doesn't take long that if you're not expecting it to check it out. Just double check it. If you're expecting it, seems reasonable. If it's private in nature, don't send it through email, right? A lot of those things. So
yes,
I'm excited
absolutely.
about continuing this conversation. I hope it impacts a lot of people's financial wellness and staying safe. Thank you so much. We don't have any questions. I don't see much else here. So I want to thank you, and we'll be seeing everybody else soon, and have a great day. And for those of you tuning in tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Jay.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. We'll talk to you soon.